Arctic cold front coming in on Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies with light snow and snow flurries around 35. And we've got another really intense cold blast coming in here Thursday night through Sunday. No record lows, but it is going to be very cold. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It is 32 degrees in St. Peters, 31 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 31. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
We still got a backup on westbound Highway 30. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It's jammed approaching Northwest Boulevard all the way out through to about New Sugar Creek. We had that crash near Main Drive. It actually looks like there may be an incident now west of there. Also, there's volume going through the signals out there right there in High Ridge. So just be prepared at Little Brennan. There's still delays, so you can clear that. So still quite a bit of congestion from that earlier crash. Southbound 270 approaching Olive all the way down through Doherty Ferry, south of 44 down to Gravois. Slow stop-and-go pockets between Delmar and Ladue on South 170 down to 64. Westbound 64 approaching Boyle, headed out through McCausland. You're on the brakes. There's still a slowdown 94 through K and 364 out to Highway 70. Westbound 70, slow stuff St. Louis Avenue through the Salisbury area. There's an incident eastbound near Adelaide. It's jammed at O'Fallon Park. Westbound has heavy traffic at the city limits and right around 61 out to the west of us. Southbound 55 south of Arsenal debates the usual delays. Z to McNutt still kind of slow, and westbound 44 busy past the bridges. Next updated at 5:20 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
News, traffic, and the latest from the world of sports. This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Guys, welcome into Monday on Rush Hour Sports. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here, and only one of us is at the winter meetings in Orlando. That would be our buddy Matt Pauley. How's it going down there, Matt?
It's going, not a whole lot to tell you
It's quiet.
right now, unfortunately. Oh, it is really quiet. This is as quiet of a day as we have had at the winter meetings. I believe this is my fourth year covering them for the Cardinals and KMOX, and yeah, this is there is nothing, man. There is nothing.
Man.
Well, you know what people would say who don't understand the job you're doing down there? Well, yeah, but you get a chance to go in the pool in the sun, splash around.
Matt, you probably saw the sun out the window.
Yeah, you're down at Disney
I have not
World.
stepped outside. I have not stepped outside today, and I got up early, got some breakfast, and that was the last time food went in my body until I grabbed some pretzel pieces here. So it's been it's amazing how nothing can happen, yet you don't have a second of free time.
Well, you've had a bunch of conversations today. I mean, you could debrief us on Chaim Bloom's first meeting at the Winter GMs as the guy in charge of the Cardinals.
Yeah, Bertie, have you done winter meetings before? Did you ever go when you were at the Post-Dispatch?
Long time ago. Yeah. So I don't know if they've changed
So you were
much.
in there like. So you were in there like when Mo would do his nightly conversation.
Yeah, but again,
Okay.
long time ago.
This is not a shot at Mo at all. Very different, dynamic in the conversations in the evening. Just not a lot was said by Chaim, but we were in there for 45 minutes. This is like. I'll talk to my wife sometimes, and she's like, "Oh, what was said?" And I'll say nothing. She's like, "Well, you were there for an hour." Well, nothing was really said. It's kind of like that. We were in there for 45 minutes, and I mean, there were some things that were mentioned. He talked about the how great it was that Cardinals starting pitching was healthy last year and what they can learn about that. There was a little bit of talk about the facility being built up still at Jupiter and getting to a point where players can be the best version of themselves with the infrastructure and player development. But in terms of hard-hitting, in-depth, real information, not a whole lot was there, but it was just a really nice conversation, 5, 6 of us sitting down at a table and being able to kind of talk baseball for an hour. It was enjoyable. I wish I could share more with our listeners, give the information of what was said. But but I don't think there was anything that was really said that was really like groundbreaking or news breaking.
Well, you can come home, I guess.
Well, there's another one of these tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's meeting will be a little bit more sexy, because if you're listening to the baseball universe, and you guys, you've written about it and talked about it in videos, Bernie, we've all talked about it here. I mean, the Cardinals are expected to be one of the most active teams this offseason. Yes, in seeking outside maybe pitching help in free agency or something, but also looking at multiple moves. And we don't know when that's going to be or what exactly it's going to look like. But, I mean, everybody from every national outlet seems to be saying they're really popular in conversations.
Yeah.
He did say, okay, so the one thing he did say that was notable was that there's basically been no in-person conversations with other teams.
Okay.
That even here at the winter meetings, when they're talking with other teams, it's still on phone and text. The only in-person conversations they've really had so far is with player agents.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what that tells you. And he said a lot of the player agents is just, kind of that annual conversation that you have to come in and touch base. Some of it is some of these agents have players that are currently with the team, and maybe there's an interest in, drumming up some interest in some of their other players. But, yeah, and I asked him very specifically, because it's such a slow market. I said, are you seeing anything not just with the Cardinals but the market overall? Are you seeing anything that feels different and that you can connect it to the fact that we're a year out from the CBA? And he said no, he didn't see anything that felt odd that was connected to a possible work stoppage next year.
What about Lauren Walter, who is great? She's always with us here on Rush Hour, and love her and respect her for being such a supporter of the show and Cardinals baseball. So, question there you go, Matt. We popped it up there from Lauren.
Yeah, we're going to play back much of what he said in his press conference at about 7:35 tonight on Sports Open Line, so you'll be able to hear it for yourself. Here, I've got some notes on this one, so I can at least talk off the top of my head. He talked a lot about the fact that they are going to keep internally, like from baseball side and the clubhouse side, they have to keep expectations high. Just because maybe the organization is making moves that are going to deplete the roster, you can't lower your desire to be the best possible team. So a lot of talk about that, a lot of talk about the organization doing what it needs to do to help players to become the best version of themselves, while also realizing some of those players aren't going to be here anymore. Talk about communication, that he thinks that the communication right now in this organization is really, really good. They've been talking a lot with players, especially players who might get traded, just keeping them updated on what's going on, that they until these guys aren't Cardinals anymore, they are going to be treated the way Cardinals are treated. So that's a big part of what they're doing. Asked about, do the Cardinals need a veteran starting pitcher, because that was something that Chaim Bloom has openly talked about.
Yep.
He hedged the bet a little bit on that one, said there's two ways to look at it. One way is that you have a bunch of young guys, you try to get them to collectively lift their game, but also the idea of having a good veteran presence in the rotation. There's obviously very good reasons for that. Specifically to players, he said he wants Victor Scott II to feel like the center field job is his. That's the mentality he wants, taking him to going into spring. He said he really liked hearing what he's heard so far from Jordan Walker, that previously with Walker, maybe he was not as open to criticism and was not open to hearing about things that he could do to become better. He feels like this offseason there's been a new level of maturity for Jordan Walker, and he's much better with those conversations. Said Nolan Gorman needs to remain available to play multiple positions, that this is not some sort of guarantee that he's going to be just at third base. So there's some of what Ali had to say.
Nice.
Wheels, I'm going to just throw it to you because I know you might have some thoughts on Victor Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with him saying, I want that to be his mentality, right? That's a different thing than saying he's our center fielder, number one. But I think we got to start talking about Victor Scott offensively the same way we talk about Jordan Walker. There are significant changes that need to happen. I mean, he was better last year than the year before, but not by a whole lot. And the second half looked exactly like the year before, right? The first part of the year was pretty good. How do we sustain it? And when you look at it, it's crazy because he's got such an interesting profile, guys. He doesn't chase very much. His chase rate's pretty good, actually. He walks quite a bit. So how's he not a better offensive player? The fast guy that nobody wants to walk gets walked a lot more than you would think and doesn't chase, but yet gets no damage in the strike zone. And that's the problem. There's too much soft contact on pitches in the strike zone. What do we do about this? And I think it's a similar mechanical thing. It's not as much an approach thing, right? Approach for him is pretty good. It's got to be a lot more physical, but it's the same idea to me with Walker. Is these two guys both need major changes at the plate.
This could be the year for Scott. I mean, I would expect him. I would expect him to take a leap forward. If not, then I do think it's fair to say, well, they may have to rethink their position on him. And I listen, they're not going to come out and badmouth him. I get that.
No.
And I like Victor Scott a lot.
Huge
I mean, I really, really admire him. But he got a good run as a rookie, very first year. And I don't think anybody was upset that he didn't hit. It was too much too soon. He got a full audition and he got full run and he got a lot of patience, and they continue to invest in him and be supportive and work with him. And at some point, and I know every player's got a different timetable, but as much as he puts into it and as smart as he is truly smart. It's got to pay off in some results sooner rather than later. And I don't think we're bad people for saying that.
No.
I'd love to see Victor Scott do it.
It's
I really
common
would.
sense. And what and we don't have time to go further, but I'll just close on this. He needs to improve his bat speed. It's not good enough. And if you're not chasing and you're still not getting hits, you're not doing anything with pitches in the zone, and that's a problem. If you can't do things with pitches with not just damage, but if you can't just be consistently on base with pitches in the zone all the time, that tells me that bat speed is a problem. It's funny. His launch angle and all that stuff is fine. He's got to hit it harder. And that's going to be, and maybe that's what he's working on this offseason. We'll see. Matt Pauley is in Orlando for the winter meetings. Bernie Miklasz and I are here in St. Louis. We got more baseball for you coming up next. It's Rush Hour Sports on KMOX.
Did you know that nearly half of all home fires occur during winter months? To help protect your home, Quiver River Electric Cooperative encourages you to identify and correct potential electrical hazards. Switches and outlets that are warm to the touch may signal unsafe wiring. Repair or replace damaged electric cords to help prevent electric shock. Recurring trip circuit breakers may indicate exceeding a safe level of electric current. For more safety tips, visit quiver.com or call us at 1-800-392-3709.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call
800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals. And it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble downtown. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. We've got crashes westbound 70 at Salisbury in looks like the left lane. So traffic is jammed back through to almost the Poplar Street. Well, back to the Dome, I guess. So the Horseshoe Casino. And eastbound, east of Adelaide, there's a crash in the right lane, a short jam there at O'Fallon Park. If you're on westbound 64, you're bumper-to-bumper pockets. Boyle headed out through McCausland. And then you've got some slow stuff from 94 most of the way to Winghaven, Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70. That's all slow. South 170 jams Delmar down to 64. Eastbound 64 slow east of Lindbergh into Big Bend. South 270 bogs down. Approaching Olive down to Doherty. Ferry 44 down through Gravois. Westbound 30 still backed up from like Dolores out to New Sugar Creek. We had an earlier crash west of there. And then a little heavy right around Little Brennan. Southbound 55 Gasconade Bates. You've got some congestion running that direction as well. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, back in on Rush Hour Sports. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler hanging out with you here. And, of course, Matt is down in Orlando burning the midnight oil and also burning the oil at like 7 a.m. in the morning as well. It's a little bit, in that vibe, it's a little like spring training, isn't it? Where it's like an all-day thing.
Yes. Yeah, very much. It very much has spring training vibes. The only difference is it's spring training, like real stuff is happening during the day.
Yeah, there are people hitting baseballs and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like this is a weird environment, and hopefully things start popping here over the next day or two, and that will, well, I say or two. I mean, this thing ends on Wednesday, but
right.
It'd be nice if something happened for sure.
Well, tomorrow something will happen, guys. We will know tomorrow night where the Cardinals draft in the first round because they're doing the draft lottery tomorrow. And then, of course, Rule 5 on Wednesday will give us something interesting to talk about. I think you nailed it earlier, or last week, I should say, Bern, that the Rule 5 is actually an interesting thing to follow for the Cards this year. So at least we know those two things that are relatively minor and more about the future than the present will be done.
There's some really you and I had a conversation about this, Wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, there are really some enticing pitching prospects available. I'd be surprised if Heim Bloom doesn't jump on, one of them. And what do they have? 2 spots on the 40-man roster?
Is it one now? Because they just
one left.
They just claimed the guy Kent from the Guardians.
But I gotta believe that there's some wiggle room there. Whereas there's a couple 3 guys on the 40-man roster that they'd be happy to remove if they had a pitching prospect on that list that they really, really liked a lot. So. I hope so. I'd like to. I've even seen, a couple of guys with at least some power in the minor leagues. So we'll see what the Cardinals do. I'd be surprised if they sit it out.
I think they're going to make a pick for sure.
Yeah.
And all you need is that one spot. Yeah, I would be pretty surprised. Of all the things that could surprise me in these few days, just based off everything we're seeing and we're hearing, I would be rather surprised. And their pick, let's see, they already have that set on where they're going to pick. I think they're number 11 or number 12, if I have that.
11, I think.
Yeah,
11.
So they're number 11, and not all the teams in front of them are going to end up making a pick. So, yeah, I think they make a move there.
It'd be kind of weird not to be honest with you, when you're in this accumulation mode, right? When you're a team that's rebuilding and you're trying to add talent. And also when you're trying to add depth to your current bullpen. I mean, you don't have a lot there right now, and I'm seeing a bunch of rumor reports that Romero's name is very popular right now amongst contenders because he's a quality left-hander and he's not a free agent where you have to commit, 2, 3, 4 years to the guy. So, I mean, as it is now, you probably need a few people to fill out that bullpen, and if you're going to make any kinds of moves, having another one would sure help.
Yep. Yeah, they found a mechanical flaw or a delivery flaw. He got roughed around in April.
Yeah.
And once they fix that, over his last 55 appearances, roughly, his ERA was a little over 1. I mean, he was really, really good. And so I would imagine there will be intense interest in him. And because he's a walk-year guy, I think it would be a waste of an opportunity to collect more assets if you don't trade him. So I would expect that Chaim Bloom will be pragmatic and he will trade him.
Yeah, I would be pretty shocked if we do not get some sort of it doesn't have to happen in the winter meetings, but I think Romero goes, and we just saw the trade with the Nationals and the Mariners, and if that's any indication,
great point, yeah,
what we might. Yeah, what you can get for a JoJo Romero, then you have to trade JoJo Romero.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get what. So the people that missed it, the Nationals and the Mariners made a trade. The Mariners traded Harry Ford, who has dimmed a little, but he's been one of the best catching prospects in terms of the ratings, the third-party ratings for the last handful of years. Very athletic, walks a lot, questions about his defense, but they traded him, because they have Cal Raleigh, to Washington for a left-handed reliever, Jose Ferrer. The difference between Ferrer and Romero is that Ferrer only has 1 year of service, so you've got him for another 5 years. Or 4 maybe. It's either 4 or 5 years of control. So Cardinals wouldn't probably get somebody the level of Ford, but that's still there's still an obvious thing that there's real value there for a quality left-handed reliever.
Is there time for me to ask Mr. Matt Pauley a question?
Yes.
I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. No, Matt, one of the things in terms of what gets attention on X, okay, because, of course, that's the only thing that matters if it gets attention on X. But Chaim Bloom was asked today, as you know, about the idea of they can just release. Will you consider releasing Arenado if you can't find a trade? And I guess he was really adamant again. No, that's not an option. But what do you think? Yeah. Do you think he's being 100% candid about that?
I do, and here's kind of the backstory on that. So that exact question was asked to him in his introductory press conference, and he was very adamant that releasing Nolan Arenado was a no-go. A national reporter that will remain unnamed recently went on social media and said the Cardinals might DFA Nolan Arenado, even after we had heard that. So then that question was asked today very specifically because of that national reporter's report, and Chaim was very clear in saying nothing has changed. That is not a possibility.
So interpret that. Either of you interpret that, and we've got about 2 minutes. Is that because they don't want to eat all of the money and they would rather play it, or is it more respect for a Hall of Fame player, or is it just a combination of those two?
Yeah, I'd say combo.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's a combination with a little bit more heavy to the side of they think that this year they are in a spot where they can pick up enough money that they are confident in getting a deal done. And Chaim was asked today whether or not Arenado had opened up his list of teams that he would get traded to. He didn't specifically answer it, but he kind of unofficially answered it by saying in all the conversations that they've had with Nolan's made it very clear that he's willing to work through this with them. So I just think there's a confidence from the Cardinals they'll get a deal done.
Wheels, real quick, Wheels and Matt, sorry. The thing of it is, let's just be pragmatic here. If there are some teams that are interested in Arenado, the last thing you can do is give them a hint that maybe you'll release them, because you lose all your whatever leverage you have. It's totally gone, because they'll all be like,
yep.
Well, wait a minute, they might release them, so let's just wait a while and see what happens. So he's got to draw that firm line in the sand, and that's good strategy. Whether it'll lead to a trade, I hope it does for everybody's sake, but I think it's going to take a long time, because the movement of other third basemen who like Suarez and Bregman and a couple others, they got to settle first, and then we'll see in the musical chairs who still needs a third baseman.
Yeah, totally agree. Great point. Bernie Miklasz and Matt Pauley with you here. Kevin Wheeler on Rush Hour Sports. Matt's in Orlando. We'll come back. We may have a little more baseball to go to. We have some college football coming your way as well here on KMOX.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. Join the team trusted here since 1926. Apply today, get a call today. No experience necessary. We will train motivated applicants to repair and install garage garage doors. Mechanical, carpentry, and service industry experience is a plus. Hiring bonus up to $4,000. Benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Earn as you learn to service the best garage door customers in St. Louis. Apply today at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
At 5:30, we have clouds and 31 degrees downtown at the Arch. Our top story right now, our news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Tucked into the National Defense Authorization Act that Congress is taking up this week is a provision that threatens to withhold money from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's travel budget if the Pentagon declines to hand over unedited video of strikes against drug cartels in Central and South America. A federal judge investigating whether Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem should face a contempt charge over flights carrying migrants to El Salvador. She wants to hear from the top Justice Department official and a whistleblower. 12 former FBI agents fired after kneeling during a 2020 racial justice protest in Washington have sued to get their jobs back, saying their action had been intended to de-escalate a volatile situation and was not meant as a political gesture. Well, a baby seal has caused some chaos by wandering into a bar in Richmond, New Zealand. The furry visitor below the legal drinking age sampled some salmon from the dinner menu before being bundled out of the pub by the rangers. The bar's owner says the seal was eventually removed with the help of a dog crate and some salmon. The seal was then safely released later. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, overnight clouds with lows of 26 degrees. For tomorrow, sunny and 51. Tomorrow night, a low of 40 degrees. Right now, it is 32 in St. Peters, 31 in Florissant, and downtown of the Arch, it's 31. I'm Maria Kina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Bernie Miklasz here for Saliga Heating and Cooling, my friends. It is a Daikin comfort dealer. They can take care of any of your needs, whether it's heating, cooling, even indoor air quality, some other services. You go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com to see the whole list of what they do. They've been taking care of St. Louis since 1927. They've been taking care of the Miklasz family for the last 18 years. They offer free estimates and financing options, and they won't leave you hanging if there's an emergency. And I can vouch for their integrity and the way they treat you when they pay a call to either take care of a repair or to check on something for you. There's no pressure. There's no arm twisting. They don't try to talk you into something expensive. They want your business. They want to earn your loyalty, and they believe they have to show you just how honest and professional that they are to get your business repeatedly. And they've gotten our business for 18 years, and they've passed the test. So if you want to save money, Saliga will look for any way to do that for you. And they have a priority club, which is a maintenance program that extends the life of our equipment. And we have saved some money, so I would recommend that. But it's just the way they treat their clients. It's just that history that's going on 100 years. The same family of Saligas taking great care of other St. Louis families. I think you should check them out if you haven't. You can visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com for more info, including the phone number, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Keep St. Louis
Budweiser Town, stockholders, don't sell out.
There, when headlines hit home.
Speculation started early. AB wouldn't buy InBev's offer of $65 a share.
We believe this is an exciting opportunity and a winning combination for multiple reasons.
Rito calls the buyout attempt the next natural step in a relationship with Anheuser-Busch. It sucks.
Blue-collar workers worried about an upcoming contract in March.
I think the deal is going to go through, but I think that it does add an element of risk.
It's a great day. We've worked very hard to get here. Now, of course, we have to focus on delivering.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Save big on everything, now at Menards. When updating your home with a fresh coat of paint, be sure to use Frog Tape Advanced. It's a premium multi-surface tape with a thin, strong paper backing, allowing you to tape around contours without tearing. Get a 45-yard roll on sale for $8.99. Good through December 14th. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus our weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-830-4914. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-830-4914. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-830-4914. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-830-4914. That's 800-830-4914.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable.
That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save.
That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you.
Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature Event.
Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow. Invoices were late. And payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lenseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at LENDSEEK.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still got troubles in Jeffco. This traffic reports the service of Ambassadors of Harmony. We had a crash earlier west of New Sugar Creek. Now we have a rescue crash westbound 30 at Little Brennan. So westbound 30 is jammed from LeKenney Lane out to Little Brennan. And because of all that and the traffic that was earlier at New Sugar Creek, southbound New Sugar Creek is a complete jam from Hawkins Road down to Highway 30. I'd avoid that area if you can. Southbound 270 slow. Approaching Manchester to Doherty, Ferry 44 to Gravois, northbound 64 up to Ladou's, kind of heavy. If you're on eastbound 64 east of Lindbergh into Big Bend, slow. Westbound 64 backs up Kings Highway to Hanley, south 170 bogs down at the Parkway. Westbound 64 in St. Charles County from K Midway to Winghaven, then it's just a little slow at Prospect. And we've cleared out a pretty good run westbound 70 leaving downtown. Southbound 55 approaching Z to McNutt, still slow. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
See the 5-time international chorus champions, Ambassadors of Harmony, with the St. Louis Children's Choir and Vocal Spectrum. 4 performances only, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Book at aoh.org or call 314-516-4949.
This is Rush Hour Sports on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, Rush Hour Sports here on a Monday. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Matt in Orlando for the winter meetings. All right, anything baseball left, Matt or Bern, that we haven't gotten to yet we should get to before we move on to some college football?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah. I go back to my my theory or my idea that baseball should not open up the free agency period until December 1st, have a legal tampering period leading into the winter meetings, and then signing should not be allowed to start until the winter meetings, just as a way to get something happening.
Speed it up. Get something happening. Well, it will. I mean, we complain when it's slow like this, but, I mean, it'll pick up. It's just a matter of when it's going to be, and hopefully there'll be some of that tomorrow. In the meantime, though,
there's such a spotlight. I love this game so much, and there's such a spotlight on it during these handful of days, and it's bad for the game when nothing happens.
Everybody's there, and everybody's going, well, nothing happened. Like, imagine. Yeah.
I'm going to listen. Next time we're together, I'll have some information about this, because actually the trend, you guys are right, and I share your complaints, but it has been interesting. There's been a lot of trade action, big stuff, and signings like a lot earlier than it used to be. So there has been some progress made in that area,
Yeah, and I wonder if this year's just a little bit owners doing the owner thing and like, well, there could be a lockout. We don't want to do anything, which is just an excuse because you don't pay anybody during a lockout. The only way you're paying anybody is if you're playing games. So it doesn't matter whether they're on your team now or not. Just do business, and then stop dragging your whole sport through the annoyance and negativity of labor talks for a calendar year before you need to.
Can I throw something out that's really random?
Yes.
If you go to MLB Trade Rumors, which is really a great site and responsible, they reported, there's talk that the Padres, among others, are looking to move starting pitcher Nick Pivetta. 32 years old, still really, really good. And, oh, by the way, he was a Chaim Bloom guy. Bloom signed him to the Red Sox, and it paid off in a big way for the Red Sox. Would you give up Contreras for him straight up?
Yes.
What do you think?
I would.
I lean yes.
Yeah.
I do too.
In a heartbeat. I mean, Pivetta's not super young, but he's also not super old. And that's the kind of pitcher we're talking about, right? A veteran pitcher that, it's not going to be a long-term commitment. If I'm right, he's guaranteed this year, but he's got opt-outs after the next 2. It's not crazy money. Like, it's 14 next year if he opts in. 14.75 and then 18.75 after that. So, and there's no guarantee he opts in. if he thinks he can make more than that 14.75 in free agency.
But he could help him get through what I think.
Against it.
Go ahead.
My pushback against it is this is the year where you need to take these tradable players and bring in assets that are going to help you in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if you trade Wilson Contreras for Nick Pivetta, then you're missing out on an opportunity to bring players in that are more for the future and not for now. If it's just a straight baseball trade, I make that trade 10 times out of 10. But when we're specifically talking about the organization bringing in guys who are going to be here in years to come, that's where I pump the brakes.
Well, what if I counter your counter by saying you could turn around and then trade Pivetta at the deadline as a proven starting pitcher who strikes people out and has been really good for the last 3 or 4 years on a reasonable contract? Like, I don't know if which of those guys has more value at the deadline if you're getting there. A starting pitcher or and maybe it's just random because injuries will impact all that. I don't know that those things are mutually exclusive, Matt. I think they may go together.
I mean, you mentioned injuries. There's nothing stopping Nick Pivetta
that's
from
a good
blowing
point.
out his
No,
arm
that's a
in
good
his
point.
First week of the season, like
He's also not known for his durability, which is a good point.
Yeah. So what's the 2 in a hand is better than 1 in the bush or whatever that stupid thing.
I don't know, man. I think I'm on the team that would trade for the 5-WAR pitcher, and then see what I could get for him if that trade's even on the table. And if it is, I definitely have to look at it.
And then I hate to go into intangibles, but I think it really is true with this young starting staff they're putting together. They could use a big brother and a guy that's got a great rep in the game.
Yeah.
And he's good. So he would stabilize a pretty tenuous rotation until some of the younger Cardinals are ready to roll.
Yeah.
No, that's why I brought it up, because I'm listening to you guys and you both make great points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's an interesting thing,
Yep.
So anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think that it's a fascinating idea that if it were possible, which way pushes you closer forward. And technically, right, there's similar players, similar age, similar years left of money. But one of them is pitching more like a front end of the rotation guy. And the other one, while he is, as we've noted, top 10, 11, 12 first baseman offensively in the sport, you've got a guy you could slide there in Burleson and probably not drop off very much at that position. And you've got other guys that can take at bats in left field and everything else. Interesting.
Yeah, as a baseball trade, it makes sense.
Pauley seems. I don't think Pauley liked the topic. That's okay, brother.
I think Matt makes a good point, though. I mean, I understand completely what the point is, and that is, if we're going for the future, that's not the future. But I think this could turn into I think I could trade Pivetta for more at the deadline than I could trade for Contreras at the deadline in terms of long term. But it's also a risk, because if Pivetta's elbow starts barking, then you never know.
Right. Exactly. It's true.
Right.
Both things can be true.
Yep, 100%, which made it a really fun, interesting idea to kick around. I really like that. All right, we got one more segment to go. Matt Pauley obviously is in Florida. Bernie Miklasz and I here in St. Louis. We'll come back with Rush Hour Sports and do a quick college football hit next on KMOX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. Join the team trusted here since 1926. Apply today, get a call today. No experience necessary. We will train motivated applicants to repair and install garage doors. Mechanical, carpentry, and service industry experience is a plus. Hiring bonus up to $4,000. Benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Earn as you learn to service the best garage door customers in St. Louis. Apply today at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we still got some jam traffic in Jeffco. Westbound Highway 30 still bumper to bumper from about Valley Dell now, most of the way out to Little Brennan. We had a rescue crash there, an earlier one in New Sugar Creek, but the most recent one before Little Brennan. And southbound New Sugar Creek is a solid jam from Hawkins Road all the way down to Highway 30 in the area as well. At Business 21, there's a rescue crash reported there. Westbound 64 is still backed up from the Science Center, headed all the way out through Big Bend. Eastbound 64 east of Lindbergh into Big Bend. Slow south 170 busy at Brentwood. There was a minor crash reported around Big Bend, by the way. North 270 still heavy. 64 up to Ladue. South 270, those cleared out down to 55. Westbound 64 in St. Charles County. West Decay to Winghaven and approaching Prospect just a little slow. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Rush Hour Sports continues on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, Rush Hour Sports. Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Breaking off of baseball for just a few minutes here to talk a little college football playoff. A lot of great stuff out of the weekend, guys. We have our 12 teams. I think it's an interesting group. There's controversy, as there will always be, but would you guys agree, I think you will, that the controversy is more about how the process played out over the last month than it is about the final result of what they ended up doing?
I guess in general, but it's, there's a bigger question to me is what are we doing here? Is the objective to put the strongest possible field together? Or is part of the objective, well, we got to show some charity and be inclusive, and we got to pretend that James Madison and Tulane have a chance to do anything in this tournament?
Yeah,
right. I don't know. This thing, there's got to be a reform of this, and I know that's easy for a loudmouth like me to say, and they got to stop with these TV shows every week where these babbling idiots just contradict each other over and over and over again and confuse the heck out of everybody. Because they don't even believe whoever their representative is that speaks, they don't even believe a word they say. They're just spewing BS as fast as they can shovel it out there.
If I never hear Hunter Yurchek say another thing for the rest of my life, I'm okay. I'll sleep well at night. And just what makes it so frustrating is the different standards they'll apply to different teams. Well, this team is going to get bumped for this reason, but this exact team another team had the exact same scenario, but we're not going to take it into
BYU, Alabama,
in that team. It's crazy.
Well, I'm okay with Alabama getting in because their strength of record, their strength of schedule, their record, 77% of their games were against top 35 teams compared to 24% for Notre Dame and 33% for Miami, for example. But there's contradictions everywhere because we hear, again, whoever the shill is, Hunter, whatever his name is, talk about strength of record, strength of schedule. That's a big deal. Well, then why in the final rankings, why was Ole Miss ahead of Texas A&M? Strength of schedule, Texas A&M 16, Ole Miss 40th. So how do you justify that? Got the same record, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here.
That's what they need to clean up, man. They need to put it together and say, here, listen, okay, look, number one, record matters. It's not the be-all, end-all, but record matters. Number two, strength of schedule. Number three, head-to-head or common opponents, whatever. You need to show us what you're deciding on, and it doesn't have to be a mathematical equation, but you do need to be consistent. Consistency matters. It can't be one thing this year and another thing next year.
So in the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, but stick with me here. they use net rating a lot. That's their end all be all. They really, and then at times there might be something that doesn't pass the eye test. I know none of us like the old BCS system and the computers and everything, but would it be the worst thing in the world to have some sort of computer ranking that puts these teams in order, and then the committee can come and take a human eye look at it and maybe shuffle some things around if something just simply does not make sense? But the fact that they're basically originating these ratings and they're not getting, and something matters for one team that doesn't matter for the other, until we can trust the committee to actually apply the same standards to all teams that they are evaluating, I would much rather get some sort of computer involved to at least guide them a little bit. And
I know we can't talk too long, but let's take Miami and Notre Dame. Okay, Notre Dame gets off to a rough start, but they lost to two good teams, right? Mm-hmm. But then the first rankings come out, and I believe Notre Dame was 10th or 9th or 10th. But I do know that your Miami Hurricanes wheels, they were 18th. Why would there have been so much separation between them when they both at that time, when it came out for the first time, the first ranking, they both had the same record. They roughly had the same strength of schedule.
Yep.
One team beat the other. So why was one team 10th and the other one 18th? This just makes no sense at all. It's absolutely insane. And so why would we trust anything that this committee spits out of its mouth? Because it's just incoherent.
Yeah, and this is kind of the point that they don't follow a set of standards. What they do is they do a ranking, and then they retroactively explain it. And then you get to the point where you're explaining your conclusion when you started with the conclusion, as opposed to having a criteria that leads you to a conclusion. And when you look at that example, it's all about the when, right? So it's still a sport where it's better to lose in the first 2 weeks than it is to lose in the middle of the season. And that makes no sense.
And why is it that Miami was moved ahead of Notre Dame when neither team played a game?
Because now they were head-to-head, Bernie, because they were next to each other. The dumbest thing ever.
Like I was joking, I think the other day. So Miami moved ahead of Notre Dame because when the players were gathered to watch football Saturday, they had a better spread.
They had a better party.
The nachos were great. The Notre Dame guy, probably the guy that holds on extra points, he probably dropped the nacho trade and all the drinks.
They lost the off week.
Yeah, he ruined. He ruined the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
Dumped them on the floor. So is that what they based it on? Miami had a better, more efficient party than Notre Dame when neither one of them was playing a game.
Yeah.
So how do you move one ahead of the other?
I don't know. It should have never been the other way around, but this is what you do when you back yourself into a corner. You got to find an awkward and stupid way out of it, which is what they did. All right, boys, that's going to wrap it for us. Matt, get some rest. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bernie, good to talk to you, buddy. We'll talk to you again soon. That's Rush Hour Sports. You've got Sports Open Line from the winter meetings coming up next on KMOX.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing. Whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we're looking a lot better on westbound Highway 30. I'd still call it slow from Valleydale into New Sugar Creek, and then there's another slowdown approaching Little Brennan. We had crashes at both those locations earlier, but looks like they've been cleared, so it's just slow going. But there's still a backup on southbound New Sugar Creek. It's still bumper to bumper just south of Hawkins all the way down to 30, so that's the biggest delay there in Jeffco. The Highway 30 not backed up as extensively as it was earlier. I'm just seeing a little bit of a backup. It looks like northbound A at Business 21, that's where we had, or northbound Business 21 rather, at A where we had that earlier injury crash there. Westbound 64 still slow from the Science Center out to Clayton Skinker. South 170 heavy at the Parkway. Eastbound 64 170 through Big Bend. Again, there was an earlier crash. It's gone, so it's just a little congested in the Richmond Heights area. But westbound 64 and 70 out west look fine. Southbound 55 is just a little slowdown south of Z. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Challenging presidential power and independent agency firings.
This is a pretty clear 6-3 split.
Farm aid package.
A president is able to put farmers first.
Paramount Skynet still wants Warner Brothers Discovery.
They want to take it directly to the shareholders.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. After hearing arguments, the Supreme Court seems open to allowing President Trump to fire some agency officials without cause. At issue is whether or not Trump has the authority to fire Rebecca Slaughter, a Democratic-appointed member of the Federal Trade Commission. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor tells the Solicitor General arguing the case for the president.
You're asking us to destroy the structure of government and to take away from Congress its ability to protect its idea that the government is better structured with some agencies that are independent.
CBS's Jan Crawford.
This is a Supreme Court that has signaled over the years that is increasingly concerned about the power that these independent federal agencies now exercise. Whatever it may have looked like back in 1914 when Congress created the Federal Trade Commission, that is not the modern day federal agency.
President Trump announces an aid package for farmers hurt by tariffs and a U.S. trade war.
They're great people. They're the backbone of our country. So we're going to use that money to provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers.
Iowa farmer Court Hullab tells President Trump,
"From me, I want to say thank you for this bridge payment. It's Christmas early for farmers."
The administration says the money will be dispersed by the end of February. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December, returned to court today for a pretrial hearing. Mangione's lawyers are fighting to exclude evidence from his state murder case in New York, including a loaded gun magazine, as CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi explains.
He's arguing essentially that this was a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights because it was a warrantless search.
Mangione was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania, about 230 miles west of Manhattan, where Thompson was killed. Paramount Skynet, which owns CBS, makes a bid for all of Warner Brothers Discovery, valued at $108 billion, challenging a $72 billion offer by Netflix. Paramount Skydance will go straight to Warner shareholders with a cash bid. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
For shareholders, they have to think about they're not really equal in terms of structure. And so we're going to see over the next few weeks, I think, a lot of back and forth, a lot of Netflix and Paramount and Warner Brothers coming out and saying why their deal is better.
The Dow closed down 216 points. NASDAQ slipped 32. Now this.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
At 6:03, we have clouds and 30 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, and for Michael Calhoun, our top story, a St. Louis police officer has been arrested and is facing several charges, including burglary first degree, several counts of harassment, and domestic assault. Internal Affairs conducted the investigation that started with assaulting the victim allegedly back in March. Terrence Ruffin and the victim have a child together. Now, according to the probable cause statement, Ruffin harassed the victim several times, and he's also accused of misuse of official information by running a background check on a male who was with the victim. Ruffin has been on the department for nearly 9 years. Madison County's State Attorney Tom Hain has charged DJ W. Marshall with attempted first-degree murder in the shooting of a Granite City police officer. Marshall is charged with firing multiple shots at Officer Tyler Timmons Friday afternoon in Granite City. The officer was struck twice but survived. The charge of attempted first-degree murder is an enhanced felony that's punishable by 20 to 80 years in prison. There will be a pretrial hearing. Until then, Marshall remains in custody. Well, the mayor's Mardi Gras ball will have a new location and new charitable cause this year.
The ball is returning to City Hall after spending the last few years in more spacious locations due to COVID. The ball traditionally raises money for Soulard development grants as a thank you for hosting many of the Mardi Gras festivities. This year, Mayor Kara Spencer announces the money raised will go towards a greater cause.
The funds that are going to be raised here at City Hall this year will be donated to the Tornado Impact Fund.
Mayor Spencer, who formerly represented Soulard when she was an alderwoman, says this decision to raise money for tornado disaster relief has the support of Soulard's leaders. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Cases of norovirus have been surging ahead of the schedule this year. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer.
Norovirus is also known as the winter vomiting disease. Usually these cases spike following Christmas and New Year's. However, this year, the CDC reports the number of norovirus cases has already notably increased over this time period last year. Norovirus is highly contagious and is responsible for nearly 60% of foodborne illness in the United States. Proper hand washing is one of the keys to prevention, as is avoiding raw shellfish, thoroughly washing fruits and vegetables, and carefully cleaning contaminated surfaces. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
And there's been another recall, this time of milk.
This time, it's Prairie Farms fat-free milk, sold in Illinois and Wisconsin. Quote, food-grade cleaning products, close quote, which can make you ill if ingested, are possibly in the milk. Also, a certain number of Ritz peanut butter cracker sandwiches were recalled in a number of states. The sandwiches may be incorrectly labeled as the cheese variety, resulting in an unclear peanut allergen. Missouri is amongst the states where the incorrectly labeled Ritz sandwiches may have been distributed. For more information, go to health.com. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra preparing to perform Handel's Messiah this week as part of its holiday concerts. Thomas Jostlein is the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra's associate principal horn player.
For us musicians, every concert is special. I know I have to say that, but because Powell Hall has been revitalized and enlarged, and it's so incredible. So from that standpoint, first of all, come for that reason.
And he describes the acoustics as more vibrant. At 6:06, let's get a check of traffic with Roger Brandy's in the KMOX Traffic Center.
Now, one of the focal points has been Jefferson County and Highway 30, and that's how we're wrapping up, unfortunately, Maria. This traffic reports the service of S&O Coins. Our second crash of the evening, westbound 30 near New Sugar Creek, with lane blockage or jam back to Valley Dell. We've had two at New Sugar Creek and one earlier at Little Brennan. That one's been cleared, but again, New Sugar Creek lane blockage and jam to Valley Dell. And southbound New Sugar Creek, we've had a couple of minor crashes there, and you're still backed up. About midway back to Hawkins. It wasn't bad, worse than that earlier, but it's still pretty tough for this time of the night. Southbound 170, slow Brentwood to 64, westbound 64, a little busy west of Hampton and right around Big Bend. Southbound 55, we had a crash south of Z. There's still a little backup through Highway Z. And then in Metro East, we have a crash on 159 north of 5570. There's a bit of a jam up north of 5570 both ways there. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Follow the bouncing ball with our temperatures. It's cold again overnight tonight, but it's not extreme. We'll go down into the mid to upper 20s. Tuesday is the day, though. It's the warmest day of the week by far. Breezy from the south. I think we hit a high of 51 degrees in the afternoon. Now, we're not there for very long, but we should hit 51 degrees about 2:30 in the afternoon. And again, that's the warmest temperature we've had for a high since November 25th. Tuesday night, lots of clouds, windy. The northwest flow will be coming back, but not until very late on Tuesday night. 40 degrees will do it for the overnight low. So the real cold air has not swinging in yet. On Wednesday, partly sunny skies, turning colder during the day as the northwest flow takes over. 40s in the morning to upper 30s by late in the day. Wednesday night, clouds, some snow flurries around 28 degrees. Another Arctic cold front coming in on Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies with light snow and snow flurries around 35. And we've got another really intense cold blast coming in here Thursday night through Sunday. No record lows, but it is going to be very cold. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now in St. Peter's, they've dropped down to 28 degrees. It is 30 in Florissant and 30 downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Come on, let's get going now.
From KMOX Sports.
We're primed and ready. All day, baby. Hey, let's go.
This is the Gray Bar Sports Open Live. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Here we go on a Monday night. Welcome in. It's Gray Bar Sports Open Line here on KMOX. We are broadcasting the show live from baseball's winter meetings in Orlando. My name is Matt Pauley. Taking you till 8 o'clock tonight. We have a very, very busy program that's going to be coming up. Stan McNeil from Cardinals Magazine. He's going to join us in about 10 minutes or so. We'll get his thoughts on what we heard today from Oliver Marmol and just where the Cardinals are at today. We will do a little non-baseball stuff. Luke Horak, who covers the Blues for NHL.com and for the Hockey News. He's going to join us at about 6:35. In the next hour, you're going to hear comments from Chaim Bloom. He had a conversation in his hotel suite with the local media. I was up there for that, and we'll play back some of what he had to say during that time. And then also we will play back some of what Oliver Marmol had to say during his media session today. So that's all going to be coming up on this edition of a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. If you want to join the program, multiple ways to get connected with the show. You can call or text 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. That's how you call or text. You can also tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And for those of you who are watching us on the video stream, feel free to leave a comment, and we can address some of those comments as we do go along. Unfortunately, it is a day where there just hasn't been that much activity. And this is nothing new to the winter meetings. We do the same thing every year. We do the exact same thing every year where we lift this thing up like there's going to be all kinds of moves and it's going to be super busy, and then nothing happens, especially on the first day. The first day does tend to be pretty slow. I found it to be interesting, though, because one of the things that I've talked about, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I think I probably am wrong based off what Chaim Bloom had to say today. One of the things I have said many times is one of the really valuable things about the winter meetings is the fact that baseball executives can get in the same room and have face-to-face conversations with each other. Like that makes sense that would speed up the proceedings, I guess you could say. Where if all the communication that you've got regarding a potential trade or a deal that you're working through, if all of that is connected to a phone calls and text messages and stuff like that, if you can get everybody in the same room with each other, well then it should hurry things up. But in talking to Chaim Bloom today, and this is what I found to be interesting, talking to Chaim Bloom today, he said that they've had very few face-to-face conversations with other baseball executives, with other teams, and that seems to be not just a Cardinals thing, but a industry thing. That they are meeting with people, that they are talking and texting with people who are here, that there are player agents and other people that might come into the suite, but for the most part, there has not been a whole lot of one-on-one communication. In fact, Chaim told a story about in one of his previous jobs where there was a big trade that was being worked on that was going to include multiple players, and they got a group of people from the team he was with, and they got a group of people from the team they were talking to, and they all got in the same room together, and they talked for a while, and then just nothing came of it, and the meeting ended, and there was a lot of frustration. So then meeting ends, and everybody exits the suite, and one of the scouts for the team he worked for and one of the scouts for the team that they were talking to happened to be standing at the elevator together, and they just kind of continued the conversation organically. And one said, well, what if we did this? And the other said, well, what if we did this? And both said, well, I bet our bosses would go for it. Let's go back and find out. And they went back and found out, and that's how the deal ended up getting done, by just two scouts having a conversation with each other. But the point being is, when they got everybody in the same room together, they did not get anything extra done. So I found that to be an interesting story told by him today, especially in the context of what has been a very slow day. Even with it being a very slow day, and I'm not gonna like go against what I have been preaching going into these winter meetings, because if you listen to me at all leading in this winter meetings, I said, look, even if this Cardinals roster looks exactly the same on Thursday as it does on Monday, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a failed winter meetings. It just means that the deals that were being talked about did not cross the finish line before the winter meetings had the final whistle go off and they came to an end. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. My gut still says that at least a small thing happens before all is said and done. But I have a feeling of things are going to be happening at the winter meetings on an annual basis, and more it just seems like not a whole lot happens to be happening, and that's the way things are. All right, so here's what we've got coming up this hour. Again, we are going to be joined by our good friend Stan McNeil, senior writer with Cardinals Magazine. He's going to join us in about 5 minutes later on this hour. We will jump out of baseball for a bit. We'll talk some hockey as Luke Korak, who covers the Blues for NHL.com, and for the hockey news, he is going to join us coming up in a while. But we are mostly all baseballs. We are coming your way live from baseball's winter meetings today, and we'll continue on with the program in just a moment. Stan McNeil joins us after this as you are listening to a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
At Hardee's, every Tuesday is now Tender Bender Tuesday. Right now, download the Hardee's app and join My Rewards. Buy 3 hand-breaded chicken tenders, get 3 free. It's Tender Bender BOGO every Tuesday now through June 2026. This Tuesday, get 3 tenders free. Next Tuesday, get them free. The Tuesday after that, you guessed it, free. Buy 3 tenders, get 3 free. Another great benefit for My Rewards members. Only at Hardee's. Registration and app required. Available for limited time at participating restaurants. See app for terms.
I love being able to tell you about my friends over at i3 Broadband. They are the absolute best when it comes to the internet that you have in your home. And they've got a lot of things going on. It is December. It is the time. It's the holidays. Maybe you just want to go ahead and upgrade your internet. Maybe that's something that you can give to yourself. They've got so many different options that help you get the deal done. They've got a bunch of different pricing options. So no matter what budget you're in, they're probably going to take care of you. Generally speaking, you're able to get 1 gig, 2 gig, or 8 gig internet. Upload and download speed always mirrored. Speaking from experience, because I didn't always have i3 Broadband. I previously had the cable company. When I made the switch, I went to the 2 gig internet. I'm spending a lot less on that than I did with the cable company, which is absolutely great. How about the price guarantees? They've got the price lock. That's a really good thing. It's not something where they're going to get you in with a good price, and then all of a sudden in a few months you're going to look down at your bill and you're going, what in the world happened? Why is my internet so much more? None of that is ever going to happen. See if they're available in your area. They're always expanding. More and more neighborhoods are being brought in throughout the St. Louis metro area. So if you've checked before but haven't checked lately, check again. If you have checked and you are available, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go to the website, i3broadband.com/radio. That's i3broadband.com/radio.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank, recognizing the Guardian Angel Settlement Association as a building community partner. Guardian Angel serves under-resourced community members, helping them take the first step on the path to possible. They assist over 5,000 individuals in our community through their early childhood education and social stability programs. To learn more about Guardian Angel, Google Guardian Angel STL. Busey Bank encourages you to get involved. Together, we can build community.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President at Busey Bank. At Busey, community and giving back are at the heart of everything we do. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbors and your partners. We take pride in engaging with the communities we serve and building lasting relationships, because our commitment to strengthening our communities is a top priority. Whether you're shopping local or giving back through volunteerism, every little bit counts. Join us at Busey Bank as we continue building the communities we call home.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Hi, this is Randy Carricker. Congratulations to KMOX, 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
It's Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. We are continuing to broadcast from baseball's winter meetings and happy to welcome onto the program a friend of Sports Open Line. He's a senior writer with Cardinals Magazine. He is Stan McNeil. Stan, great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
I am good. When you come here, because you were with the Sporting News for so long, what kind of memories do you have when you come to the baseball winter meetings?
Oh, man. I think the first one would probably be 2011, that Friday morning, or the last morning when Albert Pujols decided he was going west, and the Cardinals were, caught. That's when they found out. It was early, and that was kind of exciting, and that was a big moment.
The winter meetings have really changed over the years. Some things have stayed exactly the same, but in many ways, things have changed. Some of the minor league stuff isn't here anymore. I mean, it's a different vibe as the years go by.
This is the first time I've been in about at least 10 years, and it kind of looks the same as it did, and I feel like I'm older than everybody here now, but yeah, I mean, you still get a chance to talk to the managers. You still get some good access with a lot of baseball people. So we'll see how much it's changed. But you mean the minor league conventions is not that they would
they
have
don't do that as much anymore.
That was a big part of it.
Yeah, the full job fair that they used to do, they don't do that anymore. I was talking to some people today. I actually saw a couple former big leaguers, and Brett Phillips and Keon Broxton. and they were both at the meet and greet where you go to try to meet people to get jobs, and that's all. It's not even the big job fair anymore. It's just this kind of networking event.
Informal thing. Yeah, that makes it a little more challenging, I'm sure.
It absolutely does. We're talking after just hearing from Oliver Marmol a little while ago. He's in a really tough spot right now because the team on paper is likely to be taking a step back, but his job as a manager is to not allow expectations to lower.
Yeah, and I think they're doing, the message has been strong so far, if you ask me. And I think right now it's just so early in the off season to know what the team is really going to look like. I mean, we know that it's going to be young, but I have to think that the Cardinals will acquire a few veterans before opening day to kind of supplement everybody else.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like, though, because there is such a focus on young players, but at the same time, you got to have pitching specifically. You can't go into a year with a rotation that basically doesn't have anybody in it that's gone through a full season as a starter beyond Matthew Liberatore, who's out one full season.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's why I say, we don't really know a whole lot yet. But I mean, the one thing about it is, you used to go to the winter meetings and there would be trades, there would be a lot of stuff, and that's kind of diminished as the years have gone because social media and texting and all of that. But it still doesn't make trading guys any easier. I think it's probably even more difficult now to make trades because everybody has so much information on all the players and everything. So, look, I mean, I take the Nolan Arenado example. I mean, everybody is saying that it's best for him to move on, but you still have to make a trade, and find a place for him to go. And I just think that that's not going to be as easy as just, yeah, it's time for Nolan to go somewhere else.
Stan McNeil from Cardinals Magazine continuing to join us. It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We are in Orlando, Florida for baseball's winter meetings. Chaim Bloom's going to meet with us on an every night basis while we're here. And we saw with the Sonny Gray trade, he could have easily let that play out a little bit longer and see if he got better offers. But to me, it felt like he got an offer that he was comfortable with it, and he pulled the trigger. And that makes me wonder, could we maybe see some more activity in a shorter amount of time? Because based off just one trade, so it's a tiny sample size, but based off one trade, it seems like he's ready to pull that trigger.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and I would absolutely think that they've got all their numbers and all their I's dotted and T's crossed in terms of every other organization and prospects or players that they might be interested in. So if something does come up quickly, I do think Chaim is not going to, if he thinks it's good, he's going to go for it. I definitely agree with that, and I think that that's going to be good for the fans.
I also think there's got to be a lot of value in they have the whole group together in a hotel room. So as they are going through these conversations with other teams, it's going to be really easy for Chaim to say to, whoever, Rob Cerfolio or Oliver Marmol or anybody who that whole brain trust that's in that room, they're all right there and they can all kind of chime in on it.
Yeah, I mean, they all have their different takes on players, I'm sure, but they're right there to talk about guys then. So that could, hopefully or maybe possibly lead to quicker moves, faster moves.
What type? When you come out here, what are you working on, and what are the storylines that you're following along with?
Basically to see what the team's going to look like in spring training. We're kind of in our off season as well. We've got our next issue will be coming out in January, and our cover story is going to be we're going to spend some time with J.J. Weatherhold in his hometown of Mars, Pennsylvania. So we've got that. But so I'm here kind of getting background, trying to talk to people about Chaim Bloom when he was with the Red Sox and Rays, just to get a sense of his kind of standing around the game.
I don't know how many people have spoken to yet, but anybody I ever mention Chaim's name to, I mean, it's just glowing in what people say about him. Nobody says a bad word about this guy.
And the one thing that I find very interesting and encouraging is that a lot of people, or most people, will tell you that he's a people person. He's a people person first. Relationships really matter to him. And just having been in the office with him for a year or so, you can definitely see that. He's a guy that'll talk to you, anytime.
Yeah, I've noticed that just in the year before he took over, I had a handful of conversations with him. I don't think we ever talked baseball. We talked about families. We talked about everything else that was going on. And there's some people in sports and some people in this game that I don't think see the value in those type of conversations and getting to know people. And somebody asked me earlier today, like, where does that play out with Chaim? And I got to think, if he is liked and respected by his colleagues, well, then it's going to be that much easier to do deals and do second and third deals with people because you're more comfortable working with somebody.
That's great. And, another aspect of this is the Cardinals have added, I think by opening day next year, it'll be like 24 additional coaches and staffers since the beginning of 2024, since Chaim kind of started overseeing the development somewhat. And the thing is, he brought all these guys in, and a lot of times you'll get cronyism, right? You'll bring guys that you've worked with that you know well. But talking to Matt Pierpont and Rob Cerfolio, this is basically a group that really didn't know each other. They didn't know each other when they came together, and here a year later, they already feel very united, and I think that's impressive, for a couple reasons. One, it shows that Chaim knows what he's doing. They know they're hiring the right people, and the right people are coming because they respect Chaim.
I don't know if he's brought in a single person from his Boston tenure.
I think there might be one from one of the latest pitching court directors might be from Boston, but there's been no one from Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and because I asked him specifically, you haven't brought in anyone from Tampa Bay.
It's but to your point, it also shows that you know who these people are working in organizations across the way, because I think in our interactions with people like Rob Cerfolio, he just jumps off the page. He's so impressive to talk about. So to be able to go get a guy like that who you don't have a working relationship with, it's another part of this story that hopefully results in the Cardinals returning to a high level of competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And another part of that is you're bringing in fresh blood, basically, guys from other organizations who will have a different perspective. Because I think of the dozen or so coordinators and directors that are working in the minors now, all of those guys came from different organizations themselves. So you've got about half the major leagues now who worked for other teams a year ago, 2 years ago, now working for the Cardinals. So that should be able to kind of get some information on players as well as the way teams operate.
Talk through, just before you get out of here, if people want to subscribe to Cardinals Magazine, if they want to get their hands on the yearbook, learn about the publications, learn about the calendar, everything, just go through what people can do.
The best way to go is just cardinals.com/magazine or /publications. We've got a nice display there of the past magazines and yearbooks. Or, if you want to call, 314-345-9000 is the number. But really, cardinals.com/magazine is the place to go.
Stan, great to see you. Thanks for popping on for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
That is Stan McNeil from Cardinals Magazine. We'll take a break. We got more in just a moment here on the Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Consumer Cellular.
Robinhood is delivering cash to its clients. The online trading platform is partnering with delivery startup GoPuff to allow Robinhood customers to withdraw cash from the Robinhood banking accounts and have it delivered to their doorstep. Robinhood rolled out cash delivery in New York City, with San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. among the next group of cities to see the service go live before rolling out across the country. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Swing and a home run to left.
There when legends were born.
The first Major League home run for Albert Pujols.
Pujols hits a high fly ball. That's deep. Left center field. It's a gunner!
Swinging another home run. There it is, his third of the game. Albert Pujols 5 for 5 with 3 3 home runs.
Pujols swings and he drives this one left field down the line, and it's a gunner. Home run 703.
And to all you Cardinal Nation, best fans in baseball, thank you.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Hi, this is Ron Jacober. 100 years. That's how many years KMOX has been the voice of St. Louis. Congratulations to the mighty.
It's a Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. We are continuing to broadcast live from Orlando, Florida, and baseball's winter meetings. We will jump back into baseball coming up in just a few moments. But the Blues just had themselves a pretty solid couple days of work, getting a win at Ottawa and a win at Montreal. They're back at home tomorrow evening when they play host to Boston. But this is as about positive as we can be about the Blues in a while. And with that, very happy to welcome on to the program. You read him at NHL.com. Also in the hockey news, he is Lou Korak. You follow him on Twitter at LKorak10. Lou, thanks for taking some time with us today. How are you?
I'm good, Matt, but that's not cool that you're letting me know that you're in Florida.
I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, it has done nothing but rain since I've gotten here.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not 20, 25 degrees either, so I would gladly trade places with you any day right now.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's 64 degrees right now here in Orlando, so I can't argue that one.
Yeah.
The road trip started as a challenge for the Blues. They played kind of a non-competitive game at Boston, losing 5-2. And again, we heard the same old stuff coming out of the locker room afterwards of not, playing hard enough, yada, yada, yada. It's only 2 games, and I know this team does this thing where they do like little bumps, but those were much better efforts on Saturday and Sunday against Ottawa and Montreal, respectively.
Well, you needed them, and I think it starts with the goaltending. Obviously, you saw what Joel Hofer was able to do on Saturday with, facing 42 shots. He came up large, really, really big in that game, especially considering you had to kill 7 penalties in that game and 4 of them in the first period. So you got to give the PK group some obviously their kudos on that as well. You're able to scrape out the win there, but then to back it up again and go back-to-back, that's back-to-back weekends that you're able, if you can follow me here, that's back-to-back weekends. You win back-to-back games, because they also did it a week ago when they played Ottawa and Utah coming out of Christmas. They were able to string together consecutive wins there. But now comes that time to, try to put together 3 in a row. They remember how long it took them to do that last year. They were the last team in the league to string together 3 wins in a row, and then obviously we know they took off after the Four Nations break. But chance to once again put together a 3-game winning streak. You're going to play 5 out of your next 6 starting at home tomorrow night against Boston. You got to start banking some home wins here, Matt. I mean, because quite frankly, on home ice, they just haven't been good enough. You got to, if you're going to stay in this, and right now, as diluted as things are, you're 11, 12, and 7, but you're only 2 points sitting out of a playoff spot. You got to start to string together some wins at home here.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was to say to you. I mean, you mentioned it. They've got 29 points right now. The final playoff teams are Edmonton and Utah, and then San Jose is the first team out. All staying at 31. So they're 2 points out. We've been saying it all along that if they can find a run, they hadn't buried themselves, and now it is still very, very clear that they're right there. They could be 2 days away from being in a playoff position.
You know what, Matt? I was looking at the Western Conference. I don't even consider, and Nashville's at the bottom with 24. I don't even consider them out of it. That's when I was talking about how things are so diluted, and that's because you've got so many of these 3-point games, and that's really what's keeping everybody in it. That's kind of what really makes it difficult to say if teams want to start moving players now or even before the trade deadline. It's kind of difficult to do it because GMs tend to sit back and go, well, you know what, we're still kind of in this thing. So I think that's why, I know the panic wagon started, riding down the highway around here a long time ago, just because, this was a team that was the last team in the league to get to double digits in wins. And now you're at 11, 12, and 7. But with there being so many 3-point games, the Blues have been able to pick up. You can look at it glass half empty or half full. They have points now in 18 of their 30 games, or you look at it the other way. Well, they only have 11 wins out of 30. So how do you look at it? It's right now, it's kind of a wait and see thing. But again, you got to start winning some games here at home, because if you can't win on home ice, quite frankly, to me, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. And they just have not been good enough at Enterprise Center yet this year.
When Jordan Kyrou got injured, it looked like it could be very bad. The more recent wording has been that it's more of a day-to-day situation. What's your gut feeling on what that's going to mean for Kyrou here moving forward?
Well, Jim Montgomery sounded a little more optimistic than maybe anticipated. But you know what? I think he wanted to err on the side of caution just because, they wanted to get an MRI just to get a better look. And he was initially seeming to think maybe in the week to 10-day range. That would be on the good side of it, because when you're looking at the hit, it looked like he was clutching at his knee or around his knee area, and you always hate to see that. And it happened early in the game, and they didn't waste any time once he went back to the locker room, they didn't waste any time to announce that he was going to be out for the rest of the game. But you know what, Matt, I'll tell you what it tends to do, it tends to galvanize a group. It really does. When the Blues have had these situations where multiple guys have gone down, right now you've got Kyrou down, you've got Toropchenko out, you've got Jimmy Snuggerud out, you've got Nathan Walker out. It's almost like a wounded animal, because nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You're kind of backed into a corner. Well, who's the only one that's going to get you out of that corner is your group. And I think that's kind of what you saw in the last 2 days. Everybody was like, it's been a struggle to score goals, and two of our top guys that you're counting on for offense with Kyrou and Snuggerud are out of the lineup. So everybody just kind of has to pull a little bit of the extra rope together, and I think you were able to see that. You saw the good games that Braden Shen and Dylan Holloway had last night in Montreal, each with 3 points, and that's Shen's first 3-point game in over 2 years. So you had the right guys step up. I think that's going to have to be the situation here moving forward. You've had guys at the top end of your lineup that just haven't been able to produce. Those are going to be the guys that are going to have to pull more of the weight, but it's going to have to be a little bit of everybody.
They did make a small roster move today, announcing that they've recalled forward Hugh McGing from their AHL affiliate in Springfield, 18 games this year for the Thunderbirds, 6 points, 4 goals, 2 assists, and 25 penalty minutes. Anything to be made about another young guy who might be given a bit of an opportunity here?
He's been up here before, and I just think it's one of those situations where they know they're going to be without Kyrou. Just get an extra forward in here because you've already got Matt Luff in the lineup who played his first NHL game in over 2 years since he played with Detroit back in 2023, and you've already got Kaskamaki in the lineup right now, and for the time being, it looks like those guys are going to be in the lineup right now. It's just one of those cases where maybe McGinn does get in the lineup. He has played in an NHL regular season game before. I know for a fact he played one in Chicago a couple of years ago under Craig Berube when the Blues had some injury issues. So this isn't anything new to him, but I think it's just more for the case of having that extra body here just in case somebody else does go down, because with teams playing so many games right now, starting Thursday, last Thursday, the Blues are heading into Christmas playing 11 games in 19 days. Jim Montgomery even mentioned that. That's when injuries tend to start happening quite a bit, not just for the Blues, but for everybody, is when you're playing so many games in such a short span of time.
We'll let you go on this one. What were your thoughts on that fourth line with Luff and Kaskamaki in there, they being centered by Oscar Sundqvist? What did you think from those guys?
Well, you're not going to get what you got from them when you have Toropchenko and Walker in the lineup, because those guys with Sundqvist and whether it's Matthew Joseph down there, those guys were starting to forge an identity together. And like Jim Montgomery had mentioned, I even asked him, what are you missing with those guys out of the lineup, and what do you need from that line now moving forward with those two pieces out? And he basically said those are two guys that tend to maybe intimidate a little bit the opposition when they see them on the ice, because these guys play with a physical edge. They like to forecheck, and now you're putting other guys in that maybe have a little bit of a different style of a game. I just think that all they have to do is just basically do their job, and I think they did that last night. Actually, their Corsi ratings weren't all that bad. I think they were even across the board. So it's just one game, but they're going to get in that 10-minute range of playing together. It's just a matter of getting some reps together and seeing if these guys are going to be able to keep this team afloat until they get some of these injured guys back in the lineup.
Lou Korac does a great job covering the Blues for NHL.com, also the Hockey News. Follow him on Twitter at LKorac10. Lou, we always appreciate taking a few moments with us. Thanks so much. If we don't talk to you before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon after.
Same to you, Matt. Have a good time down there in Florida.
Awesome. Very good. That is Lou Korac joining us on the...
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Winterfest is back for the 10th year in Keener Plaza, now through January 11th. Enjoy Winterfest traditions, including ice skating, s'mores, and igloos underneath 100,000 twinkling lights in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. Grab a bite or drink from downtown favorites and enjoy a family-friendly New Year's Eve fireworks spectacular. Winterfest, hosted by Gateway Arch Park Foundation, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
When life happens and you need to sell your St. Louis area home, call trusted realtor Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria is St. Louis's real estate expert with more than 22 years of experience and expertise, helping you sell quickly and for the most money.
Selling your home can be so stressful, especially when life happens, like a sudden job change, a passing of a loved one, or a growing family. Knowing exactly how much your home will sell in today's market is the first step. Then I back it up with an upfront written guarantee. My guarantee is simple and easy to understand. If I can't sell your home at our agreed upon price and time frame, I'll buy it myself.
When life happens, the name to remember is Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. I strongly suggest you call her right now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature Event. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
Back at it as we continue to broadcast from Orlando and baseball's winter meetings. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. A reminder for you coming up in a little bit more than an hour. We've got the Jack Buck Awards, as that's coming up tonight. Always a great thing. Last year, the winter meetings and the Jack Buck Awards were in different weeks. So I was able to be there for a little bit and bummed out the way the schedule worked this year that I happened to be out of town for the winter meetings. But nonetheless, we will have the Jack Buck Awards. That is going to begin our coverage immediately following the 8 o'clock news. So you'll definitely want to be tuned in. All kinds of wonderful individuals being honored today, and including the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, so you'll want to be tuned in for that. It was interesting. I wasn't planning on talking about this, and I hope to have him on at some point. I think I mentioned this today when I was talking on the Dave Glover show. But if you remember former big leaguer Brett Phillips, he was most known for a walk-off hit with the Rays in the World Series, and really good guy. And I was talking, he was here today. He's looking to try to, find a job in baseball. You see a lot of former ball players here looking for jobs. That's something that was it 2 years ago that Matt Adams was here doing that, and he was able to get a job. And I saw him walking by today. We'll try to talk to him maybe at some point before the few days does wrap up. But I was talking to Brett Phillips today because he was with the Brewers when I was doing Brewer stuff, and I'd remind him of that. And I told him was in St. Louis now doing Cardinal stuff, and the first thing he said to me was, have you ever gone to the Stan Musial Awards? Because he was honored at the Stan Musial Awards, and he said of every thing like that he's ever gone to in his life, it's one of the most impactful, remarkable type things. He said you can't go to that event and not just be completely and totally inspired moving forward. I thought that was cool. So for a guy who has no connections to the city of St. Louis, and we have so many great events like that in St. Louis. Obviously tonight with the Jack Buck Awards and the Musial Awards and the Herman Trophy with for the top soccer players in college soccer. Just so many really, really cool things that we have in our community. And I'm glad that from a sports standpoint we stand out the way that we do. And it certainly shows for sure. Speaking of soccer, by the way, we did get word that I want to make sure that I can say this. Yeah, I believe we can say this. I don't think this is under any sort of embargo or anything. Big congratulations going out to the St. Louis University men's soccer team. They are headed to the College Cup, which is college soccer. That's what they call their Final Four. And we are going to broadcast for you their run through the College Cup starting on Friday night. They are going to match up against North Carolina State. Nate Gatter, who you heard on the SEC Championship game for Westwood One Sports, he's going to handle the play-by-play. So that's going to, we're going to have that coming up on Friday when they are going to match up against NC State. Pregame is going to start at 7 o'clock, and that's going to be, if they can win, they would then play in the soccer championship game on Monday night, and it would be awesome if that can happen. So we are certainly hoping for SLU Soccer to continue to do their thing, as it's been a really, really remarkable run for them here so far. All right, here's what we've still got coming up on the program before we get out of here this evening. Next hour, it's going to be a lot of audio. Also, I promised you that I was going to respond to some of the comments that we got, and we didn't get to it right here. We'll try to do that coming up at the start of next hour before we get into Hein Bloom. If it's not, then we'll try to do it in that segment after we hear from Hein Bloom. But we'll hear a little bit of what Hein Bloom had to say during his talk with the media. We'll do that coming up just after the 7 o'clock news. And then also we are going to hear Oliver Marmol. So the president of baseball operations, Bloom, he will speak every day of the winter meeting. So we'll go up to his suite and we'll sit down with him and we'll meet with him, and it'll be good. We already did that tonight, and we'll do that for the next 2 nights as well. As far as the manager availability, he has just one. So we talked to Ollie today, and that's going to be, barring something happening that would require us to hear from the manager, that is going to be the one time that we hear from him. So we'll play back for you much of what he had to say, and we'll do that coming up in just a little while. Again, you are locked into a Graybar Sports Open Line. We will take a break, and we are going to come back with more coming up in just a moment or so. Again, Hein Bloom, Oliver Marmol, audio from the baseball winter meetings, audio you're not going to hear anywhere else. It's on the way next right here on KMOX. Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband. This is the season of joy, and it's time that your internet provides that for you. Other service providers will tell you that their internet is fiber-powered. That's different than i3 that delivers true fiber internet into your home. It's so reliable, the pricing is crazy, and they give you a 2-year price lock with zero commitment. i3 is your hometown local internet provider, here for you for every way you celebrate the season. Head to i3broadband.com/radio or call 877-976-0711.
Buckle up, St. Louis. The hot stove is already blazing as Heim Bloom gets to work. The Blues look to make December one to remember, and we're following every shift. And as KMOX races towards its 100th anniversary, the Gas House Gang celebrates the legendary voices that made it America's sports voice. Big stories, big moments, and the biggest names in St. Louis sports all month long. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on KMOX.
At Gray Bar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Gray Bar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump announces a long-awaited $12 billion farm aid package. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
The Trump administration is taking $12 billion in tariff revenue and giving it to farmers.
This relief will provide much-needed certainty to farmers as they get this year's harvest to market and look ahead to next year's crops.
He said this will help lower food prices for families.
Maximizing domestic farm production is a big part of how we will make America affordable again.
Calling farmers.
They're great people. They're the backbone of our country.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
At the Supreme Court.
We will hear argument this morning in case 25332, Trump versus Slaughter.
And whether President Trump has the authority to fire Federal Trade Commission member Rebecca Slaughter, even with a law intended to insulate the FTC from political pressure. CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
Chief Justice Roberts says that the Federal Trade Commission that was shielded 90 years ago by this case, Humphrey's executor, looked very different than the one we see today, that now it has much more executive power.
The Supreme Court seems open to allowing the president to fire some officials without cause. A federal judge strikes down President Trump's executive order blocking all leasing of wind farms on federal lands and waters, saying it was arbitrary and capricious and violates U.S. law. 12 former FBI agents fired after kneeling during a 2020 racial justice protest in Washington are suing to get their jobs back. CBS's Scott McFarlane has details.
A dozen former FBI agents have filed this suit saying they were the victims of unlawful retaliation, fired because of what they did 5 years ago when they kneeled as a de-escalation tool, they say, during unrest in Washington, D.C. after the murder of George Floyd. They say this is a political retribution by the FBI Director Kash Patel, and they want their jobs back.
Florida becomes the second state to designate as official terrorist threats two Muslim organizations, the Muslim Brotherhood and the Council on American Islamic Relations. CBS's Peter King in Orlando.
Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' executive order directs the state's law enforcement agencies to, quote, undertake all lawful measures to prevent unlawful activities by the groups. It's not known exactly what prompted DeSantis' order. Back in July, the Army alerted some retired senior military officials living here that they could be targets. Nothing ever came of that.
Former Democratic Congressman Colin Allred from Texas is dropping out of the race for Senate and is instead running for a newly drawn House seat. He tells CBS's Major Garrett.
I had to make sure that I did what I thought was best for our state and for the party heading into November.
This is CBS News.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
At 7:03, we have clouds and 29 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Kina in for Michael Calhoun.
The St. Louis Police Force Investigations Unit and Accident Reconstruction are investigating a deadly police pursuit from Sunday night. The chase was initiated by a North County cooperative police officer who asked for assistance from SLMPD when the suspect crashed at Dr. King and Bird. That car overturned, hit two light standards, killing the driver and injuring two people in a parked car. Now, those two adults in that car have non-life-threatening injuries. Police are still have still not said what caused the pursuit. The controversial St. Louis County budget is scheduled for discussion tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. KMOX has been reporting on the $80+ million deficit. St. Louis County Executive Dr. Sam Page wants to ask voters to approve a sales tax and to use some of the Rams settlement money in the short term. Meanwhile, the county council wants to address their governmental expenditures, saying they have been working with departments on finding ways that they can be more efficient with their budget. Well, starting today, Madison County residents can text to 911. Examples where this might be useful is a domestic violence situation, an active shooter, or for the deaf. The 911 director says calling is still your best option, but if you can, make sure that you say where you're calling from and whether or not you have been hurt. The system cannot accept pictures or video as yet. There's been a push to get more girls into computer coding, but cybersecurity experts tell KMOX there's a downside to that.
We believe in 2026, the number of women hackers are going to be doubling next year.
Michael Bremer, Vice President and Head of Global Data Breach Resolution and Consumer Protection for Experian.
Women in cyber fields from 2017 to today have gone from 11% to over 35%.
Bremer says with more cybersecurity degrees being offered in higher education and more women filling roles in cybersecurity, it stands to reason that some would end up on the wrong side of the keyboard. He adds all hackers are rapidly employing AI to defeat security protocols. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
And from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, Dave Murray has our forecast.
Cold temperatures this evening in the 20s, but tomorrow the southerly flow in solid control. So is sunshine. It's breezy from the south. We hit a high of 51 degrees mid-afternoon. Tuesday night, lots of clouds, windy, 40 for the overnight low. Wednesday, partly sunny, turning colder. In the 40s in the morning, upper 30s by late in the day. Even colder air starts to sweep in here on Thursday and lasting through the weekend. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It is 29 degrees in St. Peter's, 29 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, we're at 29. I'm Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
We are back at it as we come your way from Orlando. Baseball's winter meetings that do roll on. Day number one just about wrapped up. There's still some people walking around. There's some evening functions that are going on. We're kind of like right in the main pathway, so anybody who wants to go anywhere pretty much has to walk by us, so you never really know who you're going to see walking by. This is what we've got this hour. We're going to hear a little bit from Chaim Bloom in just a moment or so. Then we'll take some time and respond to some of your text and some of your video comments that have come in, and then later in the hour we'll hear from Oliver Marmol. So a lot of audio that you're not going to be able to hear anywhere else because no other radio station in St. Louis has anybody covering the baseball winter meetings. We will bring that to you. So let's go ahead and start with Chaim Bloom and some of the things that he said. And the way this works with Chaim, and it was the same way with former president of baseball operations John Mozeliak, is that they meet with the media on an every night basis up in their suite. And most teams do some version of this, but not every team does. I was talking with somebody today, for example, who said the Atlanta Braves did a Zoom session, I believe, last night with their president of baseball operations, and then that's it. Unless a move is made, they're not going to talk to him again. So really appreciate the Cardinals and their access and the fact that Chaim is continuing what Mo had done before him, and that's just being able to sit down and have a good baseball conversation on an every night basis as the baseball winter meetings roll on. So one of the things that Chaim talked about today was when it comes to starting pitching and having starting pitching depth. And last season, the Cardinals did not have a starting pitcher miss a start, which is unheard of. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Most of us are likely to never see that happen again in our lives. That is how rare it is for a team to go through the season and not have a player miss time due to injury from the starting rotation. Now, the one thing the Cardinals did have going for them in that is they didn't have a whole lot of hard throwers in the rotation. And the numbers are pretty clear that you are more at risk of being injured if you throw hard than if you don't throw hard. So while you still give the Cardinals all the credit in the world for nursing a team through a year where starting pitching never got injured, they were buoyed by the fact that they didn't have a whole lot of hard throwers in it, so that probably helped out just a bit. So all that being said, as they attempt to continue to move forward in the same way of having a very healthy starting rotation, but while they also want to add more velocity to the rotation, how do those things end up working out together?
Hopefully it's not just a straight correlation, right? Hopefully there are things we can do in terms of identifying guys who are built to last, and when we develop our own pitchers, building them in a way that allows them to withstand some of the forces that they create in doing those things. But there's no question, the physics of it are real. Like some of the things that go into bringing that kind of stuff to the party that can beat hitters in the zone and get hitters out, you are playing with fire a little bit. And, I'm not telling you anything that isn't identifiable just when you look at it. Our job as an organization, as a team, whether that's our folks on the skill side wearing baseball pants or folks on the medical and performance side, is to work together to try to bend that curve as much as possible so that we can still get to that top end stuff, but get to it in a way that keeps guys healthy.
All right, so there's been a lot of talk for the Cardinals, obviously, about the players who could get traded. And there seems to be a lot of smoke connected to Brendan Donovan, JoJo Romero, and I think Wilson Contreras. Beyond that, there's other Nolan Gorman could get moved, Lars Nootbaar could get moved. There's a bunch of other guys that could get moved, but clearly at some point some trades are going to happen. As we go through this time period where these guys do remain Cardinals, Heim talked a little bit about the communication that he has with players in the offseason. Both players might get moved and also players who might be sticking around.
Definitely the last part would definitely answer their questions. I want our guys to know, and I think I've expressed this to pretty much every one of them I've talked to. Like, they can pick up the phone and call me whenever. When it's in season, they can walk up to me and ask me whatever. I think open communication is almost always a positive, so I try to encourage as much of it as possible. I'm aware that when you sit in this seat and your phone number pops up on a player's phone in the off season, their heart may skip a beat when they see that call. So, but nonetheless, I think it is important at times just to check in with these guys. When I do that, I always start the conversation by telling them, "Hey, I'm just calling to check in."
So one player that pretty much every Cardinals fan is excited about is J.J. Weatherholt, and rightfully so. He is somebody who jumps out as being someone who can really be a special player and be a big-time player moving forward. A lot of folks are looking at him as being almost handed a job on the opening day roster to start 2026, but for Chaim Bloom, that is certainly not the case.
I would say we're really excited to see him come into camp and continue showing us what he can do. And for me, it's mainly just that as we go through the winter and as we come into spring, I don't want to put any limits on what he can do. Surely there are things you could look at and say he could continue to improve here or there. That's going to be the case, and we'll obviously continue to talk about those things, keep an eye on what he shows us during the spring. I'm not talking about results or his stat line, just everything that goes into it. And certainly wouldn't put any limitations on him, whether as it relates to opening day or thereafter. But that's all in the future for him. I don't think it makes sense, and frankly, I don't think it's really fair to anybody else just to hand JJ anything. And I think he knows that. I don't think he would expect anything different.
So JJ's got to earn everything. And look, I think he probably will. I think what we saw from him in spring last year, then going into the regular season and the year he put together, I don't think he has to be a guy that just has the best numbers of any player in spring. But if he has a respectable spring, I think we can all assume that he's going to be on the big league roster to start the year and be an everyday guy. But if he really, really struggles in spring, is there a scenario where he finds himself at Memphis to start the season? I don't think that's overly probable, but I do think it is possible as well. All right, we mentioned all the players that could get moved. And we saw Sonny Gray get traded early on in this process, and something that Gray was very happy about in that whole deal was the fact that it happened early enough that he was able, because there's a lot of logistical type things that go along with all of a sudden you playing for a new team. So Bloom was asked about that, just about the idea of trying to get deals done sooner than later, if nothing else, to help out the players as people.
I think with most guys, and I don't want to put words in Nolan's mouth, but I think this would be the same with him. If there's going to be a change in the scenery, the sooner it happens, the easier it is. And I'm guessing that's what you're alluding to with Sonny.
Yeah, the way he talked about it.
Just on a practical level, and your family, just preparing, really getting your arms around a new workplace, new organization. So I don't think that'd be different for most players. I don't think there's a point in time, just knowing what I know about how last spring played out, I don't think there's a point in time where no one would be closed off to a change. But I think any of us in that circumstance would rather know what's going to be sooner rather than later.
And then the final thing from him, and this might not be what everybody wants to hear because everybody wants to see moves that get made. While Bloom did not have any update on those moves being made, he said he's going to continue to work late and going to continue to talk with people throughout the course of the meetings.
When you said how the day has gone, it's not over. We work late in this event, so you never know. Like in this environment, obviously the phone's ringing mostly around the clock. I think I'm a little smarter. I like to think that earlier in my career, where at some point you're like, what are we doing? Let's just go to bed. We're all still going to be in this hotel tomorrow. That's right. But that being said, the day is not ended, but that's not a teaser for anything. Like there isn't any news at this point.
So that is Chaim Bloom, part of what he had to say today. Again, he met with the media inside of his suite. We did get a message asking whether or not any media people are able to walk into the meetings and ask questions, or if you have to, as Deadly refers to, be a preferred vendor. You do have to get approved for a press credential. You have to be part of a legitimate media outlet, and not everybody does get approved for a credential. And then there are some individual things, like for the Oliver Marmol thing today, anybody who has a credential was able to walk in there and ask questions of him. For the get-togethers with Chaim Bloom in his suite, that is generally held to just members of the local media. So the people who cover the Cardinals and are here covering the Cardinals and Cardinals-related things, they are the ones who get in there. But there is a credentialing process, and I know not everybody does get their credentials approved, but everybody, for the most part, who is from a legitimate media outlet and also does the job in a respectable kind of way, I think they're going to be here. And there certainly is a lot of media here, and it's good to be able to be here talking with folks. All right, we'll go through some more comments and questions in our next segment, and then we'll hear from Oliver Marmol more towards the bottom of the hour. We'll continue on. We're back with more in just a moment, live from baseball's winter meetings. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards.
results. Refresh your home today with window images, blinds, and shades. We have everything you need for updating your window treatments. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Plus, you can get them trimmed to width in-store for free. Also, be sure to check out the weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals happening this week.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
i3 Broadband, they are the internet service provider at my home, and I think you would love it if they were your internet service provider as well. Here's something that I've learned a little bit by being somebody who gets to talk to you about it. The bottom line is, like, from my perspective, it's fast internet. It's good value internet, and it's reliable internet. That's really all that matters. But I get to tell you other things, and they inform me of parts of their business that I didn't totally understand. One of the things is the term fiber-powered. You've heard that, fiber-powered internet? Well, you know what? Fiber-powered internet actually isn't fiber in your home. So I have all those things I talked about earlier about the fast and reliable. That's because I have fiber internet in my home. If you are hearing from another provider and they say fiber powered, that's not actually fiber into your home, and that is different. You're going to love i3 Broadband. Again, you don't have to worry about like a little small rain shower coming through and all of a sudden you don't have your internet for an hour and a half. That happens all the time with other service providers. Doesn't happen with i3. Head to their website, i3broadband.com/radio. That's i3broadband.com/radio. Put your address in, see if they're available. They're awesome. i3broadband.com/radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
This is Senator Eric Schmidt congratulating KMOX and its 50,000 red-hot watts on 100 years on the air in St. Louis.
Back at it on KMOX, it is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. We are taking you until 8 o'clock this evening, and we will be with you throughout the duration of baseball's winter meetings, doing Rush Hour Sports Live 5 to 6, and then Sports Open Line from 6 to 8. So make sure to be with us. Plus, I'm popping on Chris and Amy and Glover and Gas House Gang all over the place. So we're doing that every single day. So if you want baseball winter meetings coverage, you've got it right here on KMOX. Now, it would be nice if we actually had something real to talk about. We don't. No moves have been made for the Cardinals. Really nothing of significance happening in Major League Baseball. Aaron sends in a message, says the Cardinals should have had the possibility of 3 moves today, but they just sat on their hands, all talk, no action. and then went on to say earlier, less talk, more action from Heim. Look, I guess my question to you, Aaron, if we were having a back and forth conversation, why would it matter if a deal got done on the first day of the winter meetings as compared to the second day of the winter meetings or the third day of the winter meetings or the final week of December or the first month of January or first week of January or the first week of February? Like, as long as these things happen this off season, it doesn't really matter on the timing of it. So that's where I'm a little bit confused by your message, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I sense at the least a lot of frustration, at the most a fair amount of anger that this hasn't happened. Well, you want Chaim Bloom to go out there and make a bad deal just so you can see a deal get made? Like, the market's not moving. Now, if there were trades going right, left all over the place and the Cardinals were not doing anything, I think at that point it's okay to have the conversation about are they missing out on some opportunities here? But we're not seeing the market move like that. So, no, I'm not going to sit here and tell Chaim Bloom that he needs to go out and just make moves to make moves. I'm going to sit here and trust a guy that has, I think, a solid track record, and I think that track record is going to build during his time with the Cardinals. I'm going to trust him to make the right move. And, oh, yeah, by the way, that Sonny Gray move, that was done really early on in this offseason, very early on. If he was somebody who didn't want to make moves, he could have sat for a while and just seen how the market developed beyond that. But he got it to a point where he was comfortable with the return, so he did it. So that's where I'm at. I understand wanting to see moves because we make so much of the baseball winter meetings, and maybe that's us in the media making something. Because I said it earlier, like Chaim said today, that he really hasn't had any conversations face to face with other teams. He's had conversations with other teams, but it's not going to a suite or anything like that. So far, what he's done in terms of other teams, well, what he's done, and you could probably do sitting in St. Louis. And that doesn't mean get rid of the winter meetings, because the winter meetings have much more significance to the industry beyond just presidents of baseball operations talking about potential trades. All the various aspects of the baseball business are certainly represented here, and all that is going on. So, yeah, if you're really frustrated that a move was not made on the first day of the winter meetings, I would just tell you, slow your roll a little bit. It's going to be okay. Steve sends in a text message, says, could you give a description of how general managers talk to each other? Is it a large room with multiple tables? Do they walk around and talk to each other? Do they make appointments with each other during sessions, or is it just after-hours conversations? Yeah, really, these guys stay in their suites for the most part. And when there are conversations to be had, they will send, teams will send representatives to other team suites, and they'll go through that. But no, it's nothing that's sitting there as it's not as formal as you would describe it to be. It's informal, and there's other things that are going on. Like I said, I think Chaim had mentioned that there was some sort of affiliate event that he was going to go to tonight. I know Major League Baseball puts on dinners and events and things on a nightly basis, so there's always stuff. So it's not like they never leave their suite, but for the most part, they're in their suite, and it's the whole team of people that are up there, and they are talking through things and going through that. One of the things that we talked about this during Rush Hour Sports, but we can revisit it here for a moment. So when Bloom was introduced officially as the president of baseball operations, he was asked, is there any chance that you would just release a Nolan Arenado? And at that point, it was Bloom said no, that is not a possibility. That's not something they're going to do. One of the national baseball people went on social media, and it indicated that was a possibility. Not quite sure why that individual made the decision to say that, but they did. So the question was asked again. It was almost asked in a kind of joking, tongue-in-cheek manner today. Do you still stand by this? And Bloom did. But we got a text message from the 636 that said the Cardinals should consider a buyout of Arenado, which would allow him to negotiate to his next team, pay him in his contract and his dues minus his expected salary for the next 2 years. Sal said that. Well, first off, you don't know what the expected salary is going to be. Like, this is not like an Anthony Rendon situation where he's going to buy out his contract. And all that's happening there with the Rendon situation, if it does go down, the only thing that's going to happen when they buy out that contract is they're going to spread some money out over years instead of him being owed right away, as they're going to find a way to just create a little bit of extra room for themselves. So, no, letting go of Arenado, buying out a contract, doing anything like that, that's not something that's going to be on the table for this team for sure. And they're going to get the deal done. They'll get a deal done at some point in time, right? It's going to happen. That one I think is going to be a little bit later. Is there a possibility that it doesn't get done? I mean, I guess do we just want to take the audio from the winter meetings last year and play it again when it comes to Nolan Arenado? Because I was very convinced that he was going to get moved last offseason and ended up not happening. And we know about the Houston situation and how he was so close to being moved to Houston before he turned down that deal. So I guess we always leave open the possibility that an Arenado could be back, but I don't think that behooves anybody at this point. If you're an Arenado, you want to go somewhere where you're going to have the opportunity to win at a higher level than what the Cardinals are likely to win at this year. And if you're the Cardinals, you want to be able to take a look at some other guys and put somebody else, a younger guy, in position. Give Nolan Gorman an honest run at third base, assuming Gorman's still on the team. If Gorman is not on the team, then you've got some other things and some other options you're going to do. So, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world, as much as so many people love Nolan Arenado, and rightfully so, because he's been a really good Cardinal. He's been a really good big leaguer. There's very few guys that I have enjoyed watching baseball, play baseball as much as I've watched Arenado. It's been a treat. His time with the Cardinals has come to a point where it's time to move on. We were probably at this point last year. He did not have an especially good year this past year, and now we'll see where he ends up. I think he gets moved. I just think it's going to take a little while because the rest of the third base market is likely going to have to play out a little bit before you're going to get the opportunity to get a team that's going to be really, really interested in Arenado. And even once you get to that point, you're going to have to pick up a whole bunch of salary to be able to make that happen. All right, we will take a break, and when we return, we're going to hear from Oliver Marmol. So we heard from Chaim Bloom earlier in the show. Up next, we will hear from Oliver Marmol. His thoughts on this offseason, his thoughts on where the Cardinals go from here. That's all going to be coming up in just a moment. Don't forget the Jack Buck Awards. Live coverage begins after the 8 o'clock news. Don't go anywhere. This is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line on KMOX.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. you can get in on all the action with Fast Withdrawals, a safe and secure app and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow, invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lendseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at lendseek.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
Buckle up, St. Louis. The hot stove is already blazing as Heim Bloom gets to work. The Blues look to make December one to remember, and we're following every shift. And as KMOX races towards its 100th anniversary, the Gas House Gang celebrates the legendary voices that made it America's sports voice. Big stories, big moments, and the biggest names in St. Louis sports all month long. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on KMOX.
Hey, this is former Cardinal Adam Wainwright. Congratulations to KMOX on 100 years as the voice of St. Louis.
Back at it on the Graybar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. My name is Matt Pauley. We continue to give it away from Orlando, Florida, and baseball's winter meetings. Time to listen in to some of what Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol had to say. He met with the media earlier today here in Orlando, and something that he has talked about a lot is the expectations that he will have for a club. And it doesn't really, he talked about last year as players were being traded away. As the roster changes, and even as you and me and most other people can look at the roster and say, maybe this thing isn't ready to go and not ready to win at a high level. For Ollie, it's very clear that he is going to continue to have high expectations for his team, even with the roster moves that might present him with a roster that's hard to win with at a high level.
He's been clear about that, and he stated it well when he said we're not conceding anything in the immediate, but we will make decisions that impact the future more so than just right now. And I love the mentality because you can't lower the standard. If anything, that's something that has to be really on point of continuing to keep a very high standard, but having the right people in the room, not only staff but players that want to wake up and contribute to that standard and that culture every single day. So I think Heim's communicated it extremely well, that there's a sense of urgency to all of this, and the better we are at our jobs, the quicker we turn this thing around.
And he got into that a little bit more, kind of talked about that push-pull of wanting to win and desiring to win and having the expectations of winning while having a roster that might not be quite ready to win.
It is a good balance, and the one thing you can't do is get frustrated with progress as you're trying to get to where you show up every day and you know you're going to win. And there's a progression to that. Our staff have all been in player dev and understand what that looks like and are passionate about that. So yeah, there's an urgency to win, and there's a standard that we'll keep, but at the same time, you can't get frustrated if you're not getting the immediate results that you're looking for out of certain young guys. You got to stay head down and make sure that they feel supported. They understand what this looks like as well. So there is a balance to that.
Part of getting to that point of competing at a high level once again is players being a better version of themselves, and that is something that I think the organization has struggled with, maximizing talent of their own players coming up. And he feels like as the organization has gone through a change, that they are doing a much better job of being able to help players again become that best version of themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you look at the different process that has been put into the minor league system, and adding some manpower there, adding manpower at the big league level as well. So there's things that go with that. It doesn't change a ton, other than there's a lot more conversations based on a lot of moving parts and what does it look like in each one of those scenarios. So, but again, he's done a really nice job of not only communicating with me, but with our staff and our players, so that there's clarity all the way throughout.
As we start to look at the roster and start to look at what this team might look like as we get into spring, there are still a whole lot of question marks, and some of them, really the positions of where somebody's going to play, is very dependent upon what ends up happening in terms of these trades.
They still have to happen, right? So there's a lot of, to your point, moving parts, and how this all plays out will dictate a lot of that. I think the most important thing you can do during this time is communicate clearly and over-communicate, and with the staff, but also with the players. And Chaim has done a nice job of reaching out to certain guys and making sure that there's clarity to that, and they understand what we're trying to do and what some of the possibilities are. As a staff, you prepare for all of it. So as we get closer and we start to kind of really understand what it looks like, it'll help.
And there's the human side of things as well. When you think about players who are on the trading block, and Ali spoke a little bit about how you handle those players whose names are out there in the rumor mill.
They want to make sure that they're communicated with and they're cared for. I mean, just like anybody else, take this industry aside, like that's what you want. You want to make sure that you've done life with them for several years, and they want to make sure they're cared for and that they're communicated with, and that's the easy thing to do. So even in talking to Donnie yesterday, man, his head's in a really good spot. He's preparing extremely well. He feels good about where he's at, and he's handling. I mean, there's a ton of noise around him. Is he going to be with us? Is he going somewhere else? He's handling that really well. He's a pro about it. So those conversations have gone really well.
We've already seen the Cardinals trade away Sonny Gray. Miles Miklasz is not with the team anymore after his contract expired at the end of last season. There's been talk about eventually adding a veteran starting pitcher. Marmol gave his thoughts on whether or not it would be good to bring in somebody a little bit older to go with what is a pretty young group.
A couple different ways to look at that. Chaim's been clear about wanting to add another one, and who that is and what that looks like, and kind of the resume that comes with that is an unknown at the moment. But what you try to do in the immediate is have conversations with the Liberators and the McGreeveys, and allow them to take that next step in their careers, not asking them to do more than they need to, but what it looks like to look more than just outside of yourself, and make sure that others around you are getting better, and both of those guys have the capacity to do that. So you're just continue to kind of build those type of qualities and challenge guys in that direction.
Speaking of pitching, there were a few guys last year that certainly took steps forward and started to show the organization what they could do and all of that. One of those guys who really stepped forward in a big way was Matt Swanson, and Ali was very impressed with what he was able to do in his first season.
First word that comes to mind is just confidence. This is a kid, like, he truly believes in his stuff. He's coachable, but he's also very confident in what he's bringing to the table. He was put into some situations that were challenging, and he never wavered. Like, he took the ball, the game didn't speed up on him, and it was impressive to be able to do that first time up at the big league level. So a lot of it is just his overall demeanor of closing games in the past and being able to take the ball in high leverage and still deliver. Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the position player side of things, and there's probably no player that I get asked questions about more often than anybody other than J.J. Weatherholt. And he is somebody who's going to come in with every opportunity in the world to win a starting spot and win a spot on the opening day roster. And Marmol pretty much echoed what a lot of people are saying, just the level of excitement that he has for J.J. Weatherholt.
I'll go back to our first real look at him in spring, and it was extremely impressive. Obviously, the skill set's there, the bat's there, what he does on the field, but the way he carries himself and his mentality, his preparation, his ability to take criticism, kind of implement the things you talk about into practice and then into a game is pretty high, especially for his age. But he was able to, there's like a quiet confidence to him that's impressive. And he was able to slow the game down. For being up there for the first time and wanting to impress, he was able to slow the game down extremely well. So those are the things that stand out to me, even more so than his skill set, but you combine that with his skill set, it's easy to get excited.
In the outfield, we'll see what it ends up looking like. It doesn't really feel like anything is guaranteed. You would think Alec Burleson would play out there a lot if Wilson Contreras is still around, but if Wilson Contreras isn't around, well, at that point you might see Burleson play more at first. Doesn't feel like anything's guaranteed for Jordan Walker. If Lars Nootbaar is on the team and healthy, you would assume that he would have an everyday job, but there's just a lot up in the air. And we didn't even mention the center field spot with Victor Scott II, who played really, really high-level defense this past season, but offensively left a lot to be desired. All that being said, Marmol says he wants Scott to feel like that center field job is his.
I do want him coming in with that mentality. Absolutely, man. This is a guy that has, can't remember who I was talking to this morning. It might have been AJ Brzezinski, but look, you look at his year offensively, and it left you wanting more, but there was a ton of growth in Victor and understanding what it takes to have success at the big league level, what preparation truly looks like, how pitchers are game planning specifically for you and what you need to do to be able to combat that. So when you look at his year, yeah, the numbers aren't what you want them to be, but you look at the growth in his preparation and where this is headed, and it's one of the guys I'm most excited to see this upcoming year.
There's been a lot of talk about Jordan Walker and the things he's doing this offseason, working on flexibility, trying to do things with his swing over a drive line, and then just having a bit of an attitude where he's able to take the criticism and work to get better. And that's something that Ali spent some time talking about as well, and he's really liked hearing what he's heard so far this offseason from Jordan Walker.
The conversations with him, if I were to put it in a nutshell, I think there's a level of maturity with Walker that is positive, where you're able to have a little bit more direct criticism and the way he's receiving that, and then being able to verbalize his side of what he's comfortable with, not comfortable with, and the adjustments needed are different than a year ago. And that's heavily needed when you're trying to make the adjustments that we're trying to make. So he's been really good about communicating with me, communicating with Brownie and Casey as well. But I would say there's a different level of maturity in how he's preparing and communicating.
Assuming Nolan Arenado gets traded, you would think, and we were having this exact same conversation last year, but assuming he gets traded, we would assume again that Nolan Gorman is going to be over at third base. But there does continue to be a handful of moving parts in this whole thing that could impact where Gorman plays on the infield. And Ali said that Gorman needs to be ready to be able to play multiple positions.
We've been in this position. I mean, if you think of last year with Nolan and the conversations around moving him, there was that conversation of, hey, Gorman, be ready to do a combination of things, whether that's play second, play third, and that's no different. There's a lot of moving parts, and you have to prepare yourself to be able to do any and all of it. And he fits into that bucket where part of his preparation this offseason is ability to do that.
And then a final thing from Ali, gave a couple injury updates. Let's start with Ivan Herrera.
Yeah, doing plyos. He'll start actually throwing here in a few weeks. He's done a really nice job. So we've built a curriculum for him, and I give a lot of credit to our staff in Go-Go, our catch coordinator, Pogi, Surf, Pierpont, Dusty. I mean, those guys all came together to put a really detailed curriculum together to give him the best chance to go into this spring training with a lot of confidence when it comes to game calling and the why behind everything he does behind the plate. So he's working at it. He is passionate about it. He's bought in, and he'll have the best opportunity to show what he's got back there.
And then somebody who we had mentioned previously in Lars Nootbaar, who it's still a process for him as he continues to try to get ready for the season, a season he might not quite be ready for.
Out of the boot and kind of, it'll be a long process, but yeah, he's doing well and recovering well.
That is Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol speaking with the media earlier today. We will take a break. We will come back and we'll wrap up this edition of a Graybar Sports Open Line. We are broadcasting from Orlando in baseball's winter meetings. Back with more in just a moment here on KMOX.
The holidays are here, filled with laughter, family, and memories. But if you're missing the punchline, the conversation, or even the music, it might be time to check your hearing. Hi, I'm Charlie Brennan.
I'm Dr. Bosler with the Audiology Center.
And I'm Dr. Voss. This season, we want you to hear every moment.
Hearing aids today can process sound faster than before. They're smarter at separating the speech from the background noise, meaning that when you're at the holiday parties this season, you'll hear the voices that you want to hear, clearer than before.
So don't wait until the new year. Give yourself the gift of better hearing today and reconnect with the people and the moments that matter most.
Call the Audiology Center, 636-441-7470, or online, theaudiologycenterstl.com. 3 convenient locations.
Call us today and make this holiday season better than last year's. Here for the holidays. Here for life.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the Holiday Food Drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS holiday sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation, head to KMOX.com/events.
Bernie Miklasz here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
This is Megan Lynch. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. That's why I trust them.
Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high-rise in Singapore and let it go
derelict. And load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive.
No, let's be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Once again, Matt Pauley on KMOX.
We are starting to wrap things up on this edition of the Gray Bar Sports Open Line right here on KMOX. We are at baseball's winter meetings in Orlando. Certainly a fun show today. We appreciate everybody we've been able to talk to. And not only are we collecting interviews that run on this show, but we are also collecting interviews that are going to run on the Countdown to Opening Day show, both this Thursday, and we'll also hold some stuff over for some future shows as well. But Mike Claiborne will be with me on Thursday night for our first edition of the Countdown to Opening Day show, and we are certainly looking forward to being able to bring that to you every Thursday night, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, right here on KMOX. Some of the things that are going to be taking place tomorrow here at the winter meetings. Tomorrow will be the World Baseball Classic Media Day, which is going to be an opportunity for general managers and managers for the various WBC teams to meet with the media. We'll see who we can talk to. A few years ago when they did this, we got the chance to talk with Mark DeRosa, who the former Cardinal manages the United States team. Also, Albert Pujols, he is set to manage the team from the Dominican Republic. He is going to be part of this as well. So we'll see who we're able to talk to. But that's going to be fun. And again, it's a WBC year, which does change things. I'll be interested to see also in spring training what maybe the Cardinals do differently, if there is anything to do differently. Probably have to wait and see who's going to be participating in the WBC. 3 years ago, the Cardinals had a ton of guys in the World Baseball Classic, and they felt like that ended up impacting the way they started out the season. They won't have as many players this year, although they will have some, both for the U.S. team, you would think, and also some other countries as well. So we'll just have to wait and see how that's going to play out. Also, the MLB draft lottery, it's going to be held coming up tomorrow as well. That's notable for the Cardinals, who have a 2.35% chance of having the number one selection in the draft. 2.35. So not a great possibility, but we'll see if what happened last year could happen again this year, where they end up with a real high-level pick. So that's going to be coming up tomorrow as well. The Rule 5 draft is going to be coming up on Wednesday, and Chaim Bloom's going to talk with us after the Rule 5 draft on Wednesday, so we're looking forward to that. But there's a lot of things that are going to be taking place over the next couple days. What we'd like to have take place is actual moves and actual something to be able to talk about. So far, that has not happened. We just have to wait and see if that's going to end up playing out at some point over the next few days. If it doesn't, like we've talked about a lot, just because it doesn't does not necessarily mean that it was not a productive and fruitful winter meetings. It just means that none of these deals that have been talked about got all the way across the finish line, and we'll have to wait for days or weeks to come before something ends up happening. But as mentioned, that's going to do it for the broadcast today. But just because we are done does not mean you need to go anywhere, because we have something really, really special coming up. It is the annual Jack Buck Awards. They are taking place tonight. So many individuals are being honored, including the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney. So you are not going to want to go anywhere. Our coverage of the Jack Buck Awards set to begin after the 8 o'clock news right here on KMOX.